Browns rookie QB Sanders proves leadership runs deeper than playing time. The opening week of the NFL season always arrives with a mix of hope, fear, and unpredictable storylines. For the Cleveland Browns, Week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals delivered all three. A 1-point loss, missed opportunities, and renewed concerns over special teams set the stage for a familiar feeling of heartbreak in Northeast Ohio. But amid the frustration, a moment unfolded on the sidelines that may prove just as important as anything written on the stat sheet. Rookie quarterback Sanders, officially the Browns' third-string passer, showed the kind of quiet leadership that never makes a box score but defines how a player is viewed inside a locker room. The spotlight rarely shines on the QB3 in the NFL. Yet in the aftermath of Cleveland's 17-16 loss, Sanders found himself praised not for what he did with the ball in his hands, but for how he handled himself when a teammate needed him most. Kicking woes resurface in Cleveland. When the Browns cut veteran Dustin Hopkins this preseason, they thought they were turning the page on a chapter of inconsistency. The front office handed the job to isinthe, a second-year kicker with a strong leg and a cheaper price tag. It didn't take long for doubt to creep back in. Against the Bengals, isinthe left 4 points on the field. A missed extra point kept momentum in Cincinnati's favor early, but the biggest heartbreak came late with just 2:26 left in regulation. Lining up for a 36-yard field goal, a distance well within NFL standards, isinthe pushed the kick wide right. What could have been the go-ahead score, potentially the game winner, instead became the moment fans would seize upon as the one that doomed Cleveland. The reaction was immediate and harsh. Social media lit up with frustration. Commentators questioned the front office's decision to move on from Hopkins. And isinthe, sitting alone on the bench, bore the full brunt of responsibility. Enter Sanders. On the surface, Sanders had little reason to be involved in this drama. As the Browns' QB3, his game day role is mostly ceremonial unless disaster strikes and both Flacco and rookie backup Dillon Gabriel go down. Sanders hadn't taken a snap, hadn't made a throw, hadn't even worn a headset in the flow of live game adjustments. Yet, when isinthe lowered his head in frustration, Sanders walked over and placed a hand on his shoulder. Cameras captured the rookie speaking quietly to the kicker, encouraging him in the toughest of moments. It wasn't a speech that will make NFL films. It wasn't a viral soundbite. It was something smaller and perhaps more important. It was a rookie, often criticized in college for not always being the perfect teammate, choosing empathy over frustration. A reputation rewritten. Sanders arrived in Cleveland with more than his share of headlines. As the son of Deion coach Prime Sanders, his every move at Colorado was magnified under a national spotlight. Critics accused him at times of being too focused on himself, of basking in attention, of not always lifting up those around him. But reputations, fair or not, often melt away under the relentless grind of the NFL. And Sanders' sideline moment with isinthe showed something few expected. A player putting team first, long before his own chance to shine arrives. Veteran players notice gestures like this. Coaches notice. In a league where locker room chemistry often defines whether a team survives the adversity of a long season, a rookie showing maturity in defeat is worth its weight in gold. Why it matters for the Browns. The Browns' quarterback situation is as layered as any in the league. Joe Flacco, at 40, is a stopgap, a respected veteran who can steady the ship but is not a long-term solution. Dillon Gabriel, a highly productive college passer, currently holds the QB2 job. Sanders, drafted lower than many expected, sits as a developmental project, his future shrouded in uncertainty. In this hierarchy, Sanders' path to the field in 2025 looks slim. But leadership in the NFL isn't only measured in touchdowns and wins. It's built in moments like consoling a teammate after a crushing miss. If Sanders earns the respect of his locker room through these intangibles, his long-term prospects in Cleveland or elsewhere grow exponentially. It also matters in another way. The Browns front office will eventually need to evaluate which of their young quarterbacks is worth investing in beyond Flacco. In such decisions, talent matters, but so does character. Sanders' gesture may have quietly advanced his stock in the eyes of decision-makers. SZMYT's challenge and the pressure cooker ahead. For Andre SZMYT, the road only gets tougher. Kickers live on the thinnest of margins. 1 miss can be forgotten, 2 raises questions, 3 can end a career. In a city like Cleveland, where heartbreak has become an all-too-familiar companion, patience is limited. Yet, having a teammate publicly and privately show support can be the difference between spiraling downward and regaining confidence. Sanders' simple act may not save SZMYT's job, but it might steady him in a moment where doubt could have taken over. Around the league, the 49ers' injury crisis. While Cleveland grapples with its own challenges, the broader NFL landscape reminded everyone how quickly fortunes can shift. Out west, the San Francisco 49ers suffered a significant blow when George Kittle, their star tight end, left the field with a hamstring injury. Kittle had been a reliable outlet for Brock Purdy, hauling in 4 catches for 25 yards before being sidelined. Head coach Kyle Shanahan confirmed afterward that Kittle is expected to miss a few weeks, though the specter of an injured reserve designation looms if recovery lingers. In Kittle's absence, Jake Tonjes, an undrafted player from 2022, stepped into the void. His first career touchdown doubled as the game winner against Seattle, an instant confidence booster for both player and quarterback. Shanahan praised Tonjes for seizing the opportunity, noting how quickly Purdy leaned on him during the decisive drive. To further bolster their depleted receiver core, the 49ers re-signed Kendrick Bourne on a 1-year deal worth up to $5 million. It's a reunion move, one that gives Purdy another familiar face as San Francisco navigates early season turbulence. Lessons from 2 stories. Though Cleveland and San Francisco face different challenges, the thread is the same. The NFL is a league defined not just by stars, but by the players who step up when adversity strikes. For the Browns, it was Shedeur Sanders showing leadership without taking a snap. For the 49ers, it was Jake Tonjes, making his first catch and his first touchdown in the same drive when his team needed it most. Both moments underscore why the NFL captivates audiences week after week. Beyond the statistics and highlights, it's the human stories, the resilience, the character, the unexpected heroes that make the league endlessly compelling. What's next for Sanders and the Browns? Cleveland's schedule offers no mercy. Over the next month, the Browns will face a gauntlet of playoff-caliber opponents. Flacco will need to play near-flawless football to keep the team afloat. Gabriel will wait for his chance. And Sanders will continue to learn, develop, and, if Week 1 is any indication, earn the respect of his peers one moment at a time. The Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders for his arm talent, his accuracy, and his potential to one day lead an NFL offense. But in a season where opportunities may be scarce, it could be his maturity, his humility, and his support of teammates that prove most valuable in shaping his journey. Because in the NFL, leadership isn't always about the plays you make. Sometimes, it's about the moments when the cameras aren't focused on you, and you choose to stand by someone who feels the weight of failure. That's what Shedeur Sanders did in Week 1, and that's why his story, still unwritten, already feels different than many imagined.